Okay, my name is James Ravenhall. I'm studying on Design for Industry at Northumbria University. Well, from my point of view, the aim of the Global Studio was to enable the students to collaborate effectively with people, both outside of the discipline and across vast distances. All manner of kind of very rich digital media, from, if you kind of think of it from a design perspective, from the kind of first ideation stage, which is kind of sharing of sketches through PDFs and different file formats, and mainly PDFs. So then even going on to sharing quite large CAD data, also a lot of video footage, animation, so all different kind of files were supported through, which was really good. Okay, so I suppose if we talk about the Intel project first, we use a Plone site for the Intel, and I think the general view of the Plone was it was a great piece of software, but maybe it wasn't as effective for a design discipline. It was, I suppose, something that was very easy to share, quite text-rich documents, but when it came to sharing things that were very kind of quite visually sensitive, so for example logos, any kind of sketch work or illustrative drawings that you've done, there's the kind of tabs around, and the interface that you use quite often will take away from your desired impact. So from a graphic point of view, if you've spent quite a while on a logo, say, then to then present that, you've got quite a lot of other stuff going on the screen, and it would be quite nice just to present it in its essence as you intended it to be. On my group, actually, our team name was Bamboo when we were working with Intel. We actually deferred from the Plone site to use a WordPress site, purely because we just found it more effective for us as a group. Some people liked it, some people didn't, but we found it more effective for us because we were sharing lots more video content, also using things like Vimeo, and things were easy to embed in the WordPress. And when we were doing the Motorola project, that kind of came to fruition because we were sharing a lot of video between us and Hayek, and I felt that it was really simple to upload stuff onto the WordPress, and also from a kind of an interface point of view, which is really the only thing that you're interacting with. It's very much like existing kind of social media sites, so something that we're all exposed to on a daily basis, whether we like it or not. And I think for a lot of people, they found it easier to navigate purely because of that fact. What I did with my group was that what we would do, we would have a session where we would talk, and then we would listen to each other, and we would have a conversation, and then we would have feedback that was written. So we wouldn't be giving feedback verbally. We would, listen to what they had to say, make detailed notes, and then basically write it up for them to read, and vice versa, because it gave them the opportunity to, because obviously we couldn't speak Korean, so it gave them the opportunity to kind of think more about what they wanted to say. And from our point of view, the same, really. And it really enabled us to give quite detailed feedback. Well, I've mentioned obviously the sharing of digital content, which was great, but working together, because it's a very, it's a relationship at the end of the day. So you put in as much as you're going to get out. So the WordPress and the Plone enabled us to really put in as much data as we could get in to get as much feedback. It was kind of that thing of ask the right questions, get the right answers. because the more you put in, the better it was, the better the feedback was. And especially with the Plone, it was quite nice to have the feedback box at the bottom. That was quite good. And with the WordPress, because the WordPress was interesting because it's almost like a stream of consciousness on the page. You know, you have like it's all on one page, and you can see the kind of chronological order of events. So that was kind of cool from a planning perspective, whereas Plone was maybe slightly harder to navigate. I think I found they're good for one thing and not so for another, and so they're both not perfect, but then they're both not rubbish. The WordPress, like I say, is very much like a kind of social media-esque platform where, you know, a lot of the icons are the same, you know, a lot of the upload, the attachment icons, everything like that. And also, the thing with WordPress was that it was really highly customizable. So, I mean, a lot of us went for just completely blank, you know, just the text, and it had the orange strip at the top, I think, which you couldn't change, because it enabled you to just show you content for what it is. You know, we weren't web designers, well, you know, some of us aren't, but it enabled us to show the work for what it really was. And I felt with the Plone site that it was quite a convoluted interface, almost something that I would expect from maybe a Microsoft platform. I mean, I've used Mac since I was about 6 years old. My father's Mac. So for me to use that, it was kind of a little bit harder to navigate. Not that it was difficult. It just, I kind of felt that with the WordPress you could maybe just go ahead and use it, but with the Plone, you know, you would need, and we did have kind of lectures to get to know the interface, which I kind of feel from an intuitive side is not great. I think if I was to do a collaborative project, either whether it was with students from here or it was people from outside this country, I would probably use a combination of Skype. I would use probably an FTP site if the content was sensitive, and I'd probably use a WordPress. But if I'm sharing content with a client overseas, which I have done in the past, I'd use an FTP site, which obviously enables you to encrypt all your documents. And so that's another thing. I felt that they were both very good at. I'd say the Plone also was good at kind of protecting sensitive data, and that was especially important with the Intel project. So for that, I would, you know, that's a definite bonus for me. I think so, yes. I mean, maybe not so from, if you kind of forget about the software and think about what it actually implies, is that your ability to talk with people that are experts in their field, to talk to people outside of your discipline, which I think is really important for design. Often designers don't do that. I think it's also great for kind of breaking boundaries, I suppose. And yeah, when I went to do an internship this summer where we were working with global electronics clients, I suppose from working with Global Studio, it taught me how to that kind of rapport with clients that you only get from talking to people in the industry. So it helped me in that way.